Alright, everyone. I just wanted to show y'all real quick, like the aerial part of this, the Google Maps part. Uh, I guess part two of the secret spots revealed, the secret spot reveal, I should say. So how I started this off was I marked the map where there's boat ramps, I guess I should say, and since there's boat ramps here, I've fished in those areas. I've fished in here and I've fished in here and I guess also over here. Now I didn't catch fish in here. I only went once. Um, it was still winter time in that kind of time frame, so I don't know. Maybe I should go back one day during summertime. But anyways, that's another story. But so I've caught fish here. I've caught fish here. So me trying to find a new spot, I'm like, well, what is this right here? And when you go in, and there you go, it clears up. You can see all these little creeks and stuff, and that's normally what I fish. So I told myself, well, if there's fish, to the left and right of this area, there's got to be fish in the middle. Um, and so next was like, well, let's see if it's a doable distance. Just because it looks short on the satellite doesn't mean it is. So all I did was, there we go, do the measuring tool. And see, this tells me it's about 1.8 miles from the ramp, and of course, it's also going around these docks. You could probably save yourself a little bit if you went under them, tight to the coast line, shoreline. 0.6 of a mile. So it's up to you. And again, yeah, there's Sam's Point right there. And so we get deeper into it. It's a slight little point right there. When I first saw it on satellite, I didn't think much of it. But then that is the point where I caught that big trout at. Seen plenty of bait fish moving through here. That is the oyster bed part right there, where I start my trip at. And I do most of that top water work because there's a lot of oysters right there. So maybe if you had a popping cork, you wouldn't be too bad, but again, a little risky. So from there, I don't really fish anything else. I don't know if no, yeah, I've seen that little creek, but that one's a pretty small one. Nothing really going on there. And then we get to this man-made one, which is built for these guys over here. Um, when I pass this, it's usually like an hour or two before low tide, and it is super shallow in here. Like birds are standing in the center of it. So with it being that shallow, you'd be able to tell if there was reds moving around in there, and I don't normally see any. So, um, but when the water is a little bit high, I think I've been there once. I've tried working this little area, didn't really catch anything, but um, I've never gone down here to see if there's anything hiding against these docks or under these trees. But moving on, this part I believe is the part where I showed in my last video where I got out of the kayak and kind of walked over to check it out. And this little spot is where I hooked onto that mullet. In one of my videos at the end, I showed it. There's a lot of bait that moves through all these creeks. Just a lot, especially mullet. Um, One's even jumped into my kayak in the back and then bounced back out, but it was a pretty good size one. I haven't caught any fish in this creek, but I think only gone in it once, and I didn't go this deep because I was kind of in a rush to go to the other spot. But this is part of what I say, what I meant when I said I haven't explored all of it. There's all kinds of little spots that are probably getting cut off from the water from the main river when low tide hits. That could be trapping reds all in it. Let's see, moving on. And I believe this is the main area that I fish. Yeah, I'll tell you why in a little bit. But here's the main creek that I go in. This is the area that I fish. I linger around here. You can kind of see this line right here. Looks like little waves or something. That's about where the oyster or the sandbar is. So at low tide, it'll literally be sand, sandbar there, and nothing's pretty much getting in. There's a small little area over here where water comes in, and then you have this big area over here. So a lot of times I feel like fish are coming into here, and they're working their way in here, and that's why I can see them because it gets decently shallow. But moving into here, I've spooked a few reds in here, like they've hit my kayak at low tide. So if you ever come out here, just cast a few times in there just to make sure nothing's in there. Going in here, let's see if it'll clear up. Yeah, you got this little island right here, sandbar mixed with some oysters, not too bad. And then there's this little point right here you can kind of make out. One time I was coming through, I was so focused on over here, I wasn't really paying attention right here, and there was two reds just right there hanging out. I'm thinking waiting for the bait fish, to come through here, and then they were going to ambush them. I saw them, tried to get my pole out. By the time I did that, the back end was kind of drifting over them, spooked off, never saw them. So if you come through here again, you'll see it at low tide. At least there's a little point right here. Just cast a few times beyond it. So move down here. This is where I've caught a red before in here. I've seen some other crazy movement or action moving around in here. I think in my second video I posted about it, and I don't know what it was honestly, but it was something decently big moving around in here. And I've only gone back here once, just because I heard a lot of splashing, like maybe it was a red feeding on something, but didn't catch anything. And it starts to get pretty tight over here, so I didn't push it too much with the compass and backed out of here. And I think my last video, this is where I came to, because this was cut off, but I could walk it a little bit. I just want to see if anything was stuck in here. Nothing was, so that's when I started making my way down, just right next to the shoreline, and that's where I caught that flounder. You can also tell that this is that area that I fish, because it's the last little creek before the second man-made creek, and then this is where that white pole was at that I was talking about. So if you got into the white pole, you've gone too far if you're trying to go fish in the area that I do. And then this one, again, I have not gone in this one. I have not gone to this point, not this far. But it's another little man-made creek for this guy down here. You can kind of see it on this satellite picture, but it continues. I'd probably try this one out more than that other one just because it's a little bit smaller. And that other one looks like it might have a little bit more flow of boats going through than this one. But again, and you can still come check these little creeks out. All these little drainage, little points. Again, all stuff I have yet to explore when I come out here. And I probably won't explore too much until maybe like winter time, because it is getting hot. And then again, these little creeks, um, these kind of setups where they're in contact with the main river during high tide. Uh, I see a lot of the time once it hits low tide, it gets cut off and there's reds in here. Like half the creeks that I fish are like that. In here, same scenario. Looks like the water's flowing in through here. It definitely probably gets cut off once it's low tide. But yeah, this just keeps going on. Come on, load up. But it's another little creek there. Another. Let me see. Originally, when I found this spot, I told myself I was gonna try to explore it all, but look at that, 2.2 miles long, out on top of a mile to get there, and then once you get over here, you're gonna have to go all the way back. It's a 6 mile day, so just know you're gonna be there a while. But when I got here to the spot, I didn't really need to go way out there because I did so good in here in this creek. So I think that's everything for this spot. That's just pretty much, like I said, how I find my spots. I look for a ramp that I can launch from, or let's just say, like this random road, let's say it was like a beach access point. Then I would find that, or use that as my launch point and look around and say, okay, where can I fish if I launch from here? And if it's within a mile or a mile and a half, I'll give it a try. And then like if that was a beach access point, I would have saw that. Been like, boom, easy day. Only quarter mile maybe, not even just 1,000 feet. I think close to a quarter mile. But yeah. If y'all have any questions, let me know. I think I covered everything. Again, maybe try this out for your local area. See, make a map, show everywhere you've launched from, everywhere you caught fish, and to see, if you can find a new spot like that. I guess I forgot to mention that. I also looked through all the shoreline, like zoomed in. I even put this little feature on the little map part because I'm trying to find a spot where I can launch from that's closer than Sam's Point. And let's say there was a trail right here, and I was like, okay, maybe that's a spot, a beach access point. That's when I click on this road, the blue road part, which has the setup, the imagery, and I would be like, oh man, no, it's closed, it's private property, it says do not enter, or it's a gated community, something of that nature. And then, or if there's not, or I can't really tell on here, then I'll just go over there and drive it, do a little bit of recon on it and go from there. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you have questions about it, something I forgot, just go ahead and put it down at the bottom. I think that's everything. So, till next time, I'll see y'all later. Also, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me at gonzo.1775. I post a lot more of my fishing adventures, my gear and stuff on there, especially like when I'm going to new spots and stuff. I'll post it on my story, post a picture, maybe give some sneak peeks or some clues, especially if you're in the local area where I'm at. So go ahead and add me there. Thanks.